All right, guys. Welcome everyone to After Church Tea Time. It's beautiful to have a chat about the meaning of twin flame marriage. And we just witnessed a beautiful twin flame marriage with Paco and Deborah. Congratulations again, guys. That was beautiful. We can all watch that ceremony on YouTube on the Unionism, the Church of Union YouTube channel. It's recorded there, and thank you so much for sharing that moment with us all. And we have beautiful guests today that we are going to discuss this idea with. So yeah, thanks for joining, guys. And we have Stephanie here, we have Carmen and Daniel here, and we have Lydia here. And I just wanted to, just open the floor and invite some comments, maybe some takeaways that you got from that sermon, that Sunday service today, and just the meaning of twin flame marriage overall.
I love the sermon today. It was like so perfect. It just gave me this like very warm, loving feeling because twin flame marriage is so sacred. It's just like, the most powerful union that you can actually bring into the world. And finally, having the proper support and the body of work to help twin flames come together is such a blessing on the planet. So beautiful to watch Paco and Deb because I've watched their journey from the moment of where they were totally in separation, and they had to move through such dramatic changes and so many challenges and obstacles in their union to claim it. And watching them actually go all the way to getting married, to getting to harmonious union and getting married was like, wow, like they did it. Here we are, sometimes struggle busting on those challenges. And, for some people, it's just like, I'm going all in and, nothing's in the way. And it's just so beautiful, to actually witness it and for them to talk about it. And for me, it shows that it's for everyone, it's not just for them. And it just shows that you can overcome anything, literally like anything, like nothing, no obstacle is more or less challenging. And
Right.
I just visualize myself, in that place because I am on this journey and I am, kind of like not giving up on myself. I am persisting, and I can feel it in my heart. It's almost like watching them. It just escalated my journey.
Yeah.
It's very magnetic, very like, whoo, like like it's for all of us. And it is just so beautiful. It's such a beautiful flowing energy into the world when a twin flame couple comes together and and just shares their love.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And uh, it just so happens that we have more uh, twin flame married couples in the room, and so it is really beautiful to come together here. And we talked about it in class today as well with Jeff and Shaleia that, when you want to have a really peaceful kind of system of people, like a city or a society, basically, it comes down to the families, right? And the families come down to the partners, right? The um, ideally like the harmonious twin flame partners. And if they have that peace within themselves and between each other, then it creates a peaceful family. It creates a peaceful society. It creates a peaceful world. Yeah. How are you guys? How did you perceive that sermon?
Well, for me, it was very beautiful because Carmen and I got married a few months ago, and we're still grounding that part in our lives. Like when Deborah said, like, this part from the book. Like, you are not marrying just a person like a normal soulmate relationship. That's when I was like, yeah, that's true, because we just got into physical union and then we got married in very few time. And still I feel we have been like together for years now. Like it happens it's so natural that it feels like years in very little time, or what the world considers very little time. And it's amazing how when you apply the teachings, you get like these results, right? Like, we are married, but everyone else can achieve these too. And it's, yeah, like very different, because even like when you have these big upsets where you are just like, "Blah, I don't want to know about this person anymore," and you just move through the blog, then you're just like, okay, well, it wasn't that bad. And this is something I have told Carmen before, like these big like um disagreements in other relationships for me meant like the end. For me, was like, this is going to the end. Like, there's no going back. We cannot fix this. The relationship is broken, and it happened. But with your twin flame, it's like, well, yeah, we're upset, but I know it's not gonna be the end. I mean, this is just another one. We'll move through it. We will be happy. And so, seeing how other twin flames are like getting married, for me is like, this is becoming easier and easier, so everyone else can have it faster, right? And yeah, it's just amazing enjoying life with your perfect lover, the one that God created for you. Like, they can be your best friend and at the same time your perfect lover and your perfect partner all at once, and it's just amazing.
Are you getting settled in nicely in Germany together?
Yeah, we are. We have had some interesting challenges that we are overcoming. But yeah, I mean, at the end, we're just clear that the only thing that matters is our union, no matter what the world says, whether the world likes it or not, or says we can do something or we can't. Our union is ours, and we are good in it. It's where we belong.
Yeah, what Daniel is referring to, just to make it more clear, like we are having immigration issues at the moment, and we are kind of facing that, and which is really interesting, right? Because it seems like the world wants us, kind of separate, or the law wants us separate. But the moment we decided, like, okay, if he has to go back to Mexico, I'm with him, right? I'm gonna leave everything. I'm just gonna commit to my union, commit to that, and trust that process. And in that, we feel much more safe and much more relieved, and things started flowing. Even though it didn't seem possible before that he could stay here, things started to shift, and people told us, like, even though lawyers said, no, you have to go back to Mexico, you can't stay here. They all told us all at once, like, you can stay here, you're safe here, you're allowed here. And we were like, wow, okay. The moment we were just like, no matter how it's going to look like on the outside, we stay together, we choose this union. This is the $1 million suitcase. Everything started to fall into place, and it will still be. And in the end, we don't care where we will be together, we just stay together. And I loved about the sermon too that Paco and Deb shared that since they are together and since they wanted their true twin flame in their lives, they were manifesting that marriage already within them. They were claiming that, they were visualizing that, and every time they saw love and see love, they bless these people, right? You could really feel that, and visualizing it for themselves, to getting married to your true twin flame. And this is what we did too, or at least on my side. And he shared later he did the same. Surprise, twin flames, right? Um, that every time I see love, I bless those people. I really always envisioned like getting married, and I never saw a real face there because I was never really completely sure who my true twin flame is. It was just for me about love and getting to know myself, as they shared in the sermon, because that's really what it's about, not to get that person and finally be with them. Like, yeah, the reward is you will be with them once you learn how to be with yourself and with love in general. And that is really beautiful. And I feel this is what stood out in the sermon again, once more. Like, you never have to focus on another person. You never have to focus on an outcome. You just have to focus on loving yourself and, you know, magnetizing everything you desire into your reality. And we claim already, since we also physically together to get married, we claim that. And we claim to get married in the Church of Union as well, to share that with everyone. And yeah.
Yeah, and one last thing for me, from me, something that I feel is very like a big gift from the Twin Flame Union is that it's a safe place. You are safe here. Your love is safe here. When Carmen and I just made it together, we were going somewhere I don't remember, and we saw all these couples like kind of like in this disagreement mode, like go away, I don't want to see you, and like something was going on there, and we realized like, wow, we don't need to worry about that anymore. We know we are not going like these separate ways, or like we're not playing games with each other. We know we can have upsets but still feel safe or know that we will be there for each other. And seeing like that here in the community, the teachings, I think that's like one of the biggest gifts that makes you feel take this next step of like, yes, I want to marry this person because I know I will be safe. That's like the thing I got from Paco and Deb. Like they were like, this is safe for me. This is what I always look for, and that's why they were saying, right? Like you asked for unconditional love, and now you're getting it. And so when you get that feeling, you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna marry this person. Why not? Like, and you do it, and it looks like crazy because it's so little time sometimes, but it's like amazing.
Thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful. I also found it very inspiring how they shared that they really claimed it, Paco and Demo really. By the way, hi Paco, I saw a comment of yours on this live stream here. That they really prioritized the union, really claimed it, no matter what kind of challenges arose, or might still arise. They said that they know the teaching, the work, the process, so they're gonna proceed with it. And yeah, Stephanie, what do you feel like is that meaning for you of being married to one's twin flame?
Yeah, I think it was kind of perfect that Paco and Deb really laid it out, like how to ground that into like the physical reality, because I think there's there's some pretty spiritual people out there in the twin flame community at large who talk about like 5D and 5D union and everything. Oh, we're in union, but in 5D. Well, don't stop there. Continue to ground your relationship into the physical, build a life on it. Because this is what twin flame union is like. Marrying your twin flame is all about, is like Fabian, like you mentioned, building your life on it. Like it's the foundation of a healthy family. It's the foundation of a healthy community. So a healthy country, it all starts from there. And something else Shaleia had said in class today mentioned about that as well, is like, a healthy family is the root of that is a healthy union, matriarch, patriarch figure, right? And then obviously like individual. So it is your job to claim that, right? And to ground it. And there's work to be done in order to do that. It's not just about, meditating off in a corner. There's inner work to be done. There's lots of claiming, like Daniel and Carmen talked about when in their story. They're going through some stuff, Paco and Deb and their relationship and to get to marriage too. Same thing with me and Kieran. We actually had to move through quarantine for COVID quarantine in order to come together and get married. So, and I was in America, kind of similar story as Daniel and Carmen, like actually even with Paco and Deb, like different countries to come together. And it's exactly what Lydia was saying earlier, is like, this is really showing you that like it's possible. Like, look at all of the stuff that was in the way. The world really was saying no. We had a global shutdown, and yet God still made it work for me and my twin flame to come together. And even be able to, so a little bit about my story. We've been married now for about 4 years. Yeah, just almost, actually, we're coming up on our anniversary very soon this month, so that's great. Thank you. But yeah, it's been about 4 years, and when we first came together, we claimed it. And I remember it was when the first quarantine was happening, and not every single country was shut down yet, but where we live now, Switzerland was, and America was very shut down. So there was really no way of me going there or him coming here or coming there. And so we just continued to claim it, and we sat on phone calls and Zoom calls for hours and did our inner work and spent time. And it's like we lived our life together to claim it. And I remember one day I was just sitting with God, and I was like, you know, God, I know that like this is meant to happen. Like you wouldn't, and something that Jeff and Shaleia say all the time in TFAS is like, you know, God wouldn't lead you to the river without a bucket so that you can drink.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like God wouldn't bring me this far if we weren't meant to be together. And all of the, even the visa stuff wasn't working out, like, because Switzerland's very challenging to enter, let alone like during quarantine times. Like it's already difficult without that. And so that's a huge thing. And so we, you know, so we actually, one of the things that we committed to, we're like, you know what, we could come together if we promised to marry. And we're like, you know what, do you want that? Yeah, of course I want that. Do you want that? Yeah, of course, duh, like let's go. And so that was that's when we started the visa process. But unfortunately, because we were only online dating for about, a few, like 3 to 4 months before then, we had never actually met in person, they wouldn't accept it. And so we're like, okay, God, again, there's that, we've got the river, where's the bucket? Where's the bucket? And I remember just sitting with God and asking him, and it's not the world that gives you your answers to take you to your next step. It's God, even in your twin flame, marriage. And then God like gave me the idea of like, maybe you should look at other countries that you both could meet in the middle and live together and spend time together. I was like, it's true. I've lived all around the world at this point. Like that doesn't like, we can do that. We can do that there. So we looked, and sure enough, England. So London, we came together in London that summer, got to spend, just right after my birthday, and got to come home to my twin flame. And we lived together for a little over a month, and continued to do our inner work every single day. And we loved spending time together. It was amazing. But that wasn't enough, just coming together physically, like that wasn't enough. Like it's like a little taste, you don't want the little carrot dangled in front of you. You just want the whole thing. Like I want my life to be with him, and he wanted his life with me. So we just continued to work, lots of visa stuff. In fact, it was a lot in German, which neither of us speak. Actually, Kieran actually asked Fabian for help on some of the paperwork and stuff like that. And yeah, and eventually it was actually right on Kieran's 30th birthday, we got the email that said the application was accepted and I can come home. And so we started traveling. We canceled the rest of our Airbnb, and we got a flight within the day, and the next day we left. It was all like that. It was amazing. God wants it to happen. It's going to happen as long as you do too. It doesn't matter what the world throws at you. Who cares? Like God can move mountains. How easy would it be to bring you together, with your twin flame, as long as you put in the work to make it happen? And, we did, and here we are.
Beautiful. And I saw a post today in the open forum, actually, written by Alexandra. And she basically said that, hey, some people that are on the journey pursuing the twin flame, they encounter obstacles, like, maybe my twin flame is not showing me the interest anymore, or they seemingly move on. And then I am tempted to give up on all of it and, come back to my senses as maybe other people would kind of recommend, that don't understand that whole twin flame connection yet. But then she also shared an ChatGPT reply with Disney stories, and it gave a short synopsis of all of these Disney stories and Hollywood movie stories of great love and romance, kind of archetype twin flame love stories. And they all had in common that they had to overcome great challenge and difficulty, you know. And it doesn't mean that it has to be difficult necessarily, right? But yeah, I mean, it is a heroes and heroines journey, you know, and it is important to keep going regardless, you know, and then in the end, it will be good. And it's good along the way too, even if it doesn't seem like it sometimes.
I love the part on the sermon where it's just like it's all by the grace of God, you know, as we're all kind of saying the same thing, but in our own different way of, you know, praising God for all of our blessings and our creations. And you know, I find that just all along, like for me personally, since I started this journey, like the way that my life was going before, you know, the work was just very separation consciousness, like the world, you know, and also releasing like our parents' marriage, because that's pretty much kind of like what also keeps twin flames, because they need to be loyal to like this family that they're kind of like raised in the world, you know, and meanwhile their desire in their heart is to be with their twin flame, and it's just very much active, as most of the members that are like on the forum, you know, like they're here because they have that desire in their heart, and they, you know, the obstacles are just kind of like they seem so great. And you know, for me, if it wasn't for Jeff and Shaleia and them becoming my spiritual parents and guiding me the way to my harmonious union is very crucial, because otherwise it just can never happen, because the world is so in separation consciousness, and here we are believing in this beautiful union and seeing the truth and twin flames coming together is the biggest thing, that finally like we can listen to our inner intuition and listen to God's voice speaking through our own, in our own, like, you know, private world, because that's really what matters. Like that's why it's inner work, right? It's your own intimate relationship with God and claiming that God. So for me, like marriage has like a totally different meaning now. It's like, you know, I was kind of like trying to go from 0 to 100, and I'm like, no, I'm like, I need to work the process, you know, and because I know that it's for me too, because I'm already spiritually married, just as Deb and Paco and all of our couples that are like here today. It's a spiritual Fabian too. Like we're like our twin flames are not here right now, but we are spiritually married to them. You know, it's just that we are now taking responsibility for purifying our consciousness to bring us together. And that is a guarantee, because that's how we're created. Like, you know, that's how I know, like I could just take it easy and relax and work through my process and trust that it is for me too, and it is the only marriage that is real, and that is what I choose, you know. I don't want to settle for anything else that is not you know, twin flame marriage, because I want my highest partner, and I want the best partner for me to do life with eternally, not just this lifetime. So that's why I feel like just like we need to, more twin flame couples need to come and join us and do the inner work, and you know, get married in the Church of Union. It's such a blessing that we have our church now, and we can actually honor the desire. And for me personally, like I know when I'll get there, like it'll be such an achievement, because it's just everybody knows like what we have done now to get there. You know, it's not just meeting someone and getting married. It's actually choosing to humble yourself and release your ego and not believe in fear, and release all of your illusions and claim this beautiful marriage, the twin flame marriage. So I'm just like, as you can tell, I'm like super excited about, you know, more couples coming together and claiming this. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for that as well.
Yeah.
And there's always different, I guess, temptations in, you know, that, and and challenges where you have to always return to the truth of a twin flame union on that path. I was basically out of town this week and in touch with a group of people that don't have anything to do with twin flames, anything to do with that one true love, and really experience the contrast of it, right? And honestly, there's also an emptiness to it because it's lacking the divine, because the divine has your twin flame created for you. And then in that same town, I met up with Felix and Karin, twin flames in union. We had dinner together, and that was difference like day and night. It was peaceful, enjoyable, warm, comforting, healing. You meet up with these people, just have a chat, and you just feel like rejuvenated. It's beautiful, and that's why it counts, right? That's why it counts that every single twin flame persists, so that there are these examples that give other people a reason, like one more reason to continue.
Yeah, I did want to share one more thing there too about twin flame marriage, because my twin flame, his parents are actually twin flames, so they're married and they had him, and how I felt being around a family that was built on a twin flame pair, a married twin flame. Now they went through their fair share of stuff and came out the other side stronger, but to me, it felt like night and day to be around a family that had twin flames at the core of the family, at the foundation, because it felt secure. So the family just feels secure. Like my twin flame growing up, Kieran, he's autistic. He had a lot of sickness and illness and all this stuff. So he required a lot of love. He required a lot of presence. And it was like, I look back at my upbringing, my family, my parents were not twin flames at all. Not, from what I saw, there was like, they were just kind of ended up being friends towards the end, barely. So just a big contrast. It felt so weak what I grew up with. And so as a child, I didn't feel fully supported. I didn't feel really because my parents themselves didn't have a lot of strength and love between them. So there was really no foundation for me growing up. And then after I came here, and I have a really rich relationship with my in-laws now. They're absolute angels, really beautiful people. They support us and our union like crazy. They're just, we spend every holiday with them. They're French, so we go back to France all the time for holidays. And we have the full like traditional French tradition and food and all these things. But like I remember the first probably 2 years, every single time I went and visited, of course, we went and visited, of course, I would just sit at every meal when everyone came together and would speak and connect and share and have a relationship. I got emotional. Like I would start tearing up because of how much love I felt at the table. And it was so healing and purifying for me because I never grew up with that. I didn't even know it was possible. And it's like, this is what we're building, being twin flames, married twin flames and starting families together. Like we really are creating something very real. Like as a 33-year-old woman, I could still be touched, mothered, like my heart can be touched, mothered, nurtured, and healed by the love of the family. And they've just welcomed me in. I think another piece which is interesting is they love their son, and I'm his twin flame, which means that they love me because we're one, baby. And so it was really easy and effortless for them to also accept me and support us in our union because, it's him. They feel it. They love him. They know him. And so, like I said, just really strong, like, a family that's based in twin flames and, mother and father being married and committed and in union is really, I think, something transcendental that we can barely even really put in words. We're trying really hard to put in words what the feelings are here, but it really takes one to be in harmonious union with their twin flame, to be married to their twin flame, or to be in union with your twin flame, or all those things, to really understand that experience. And Yeah, so definitely recommend it. 10 out of 10. But yeah, I just wanted to add that piece because it's pretty good.
Yeah. I just want to say that the journey will have challenges. Like you don't get to say yes or no to that. There will be challenges, but something that at least I have learned is to change my perspective about challenges. I used to see them as these obstacles, like, oh, if this was meant to be, there shouldn't be any challenges. But then I started to see that challenges are here to show you your strength because God sees that already. He created you, but you also need to learn to see that within yourself so you can overcome everything that could not be aligned with your highest interest, which is most of the time the outer world. And yeah, for me, being here today, like I had this big, small challenge at first when I was flying from Mexico to Germany. I was, doing all these security control, and at the airport, the person who received my ticket told me like, I cannot let you in the airplane to Germany if you do not have a ticket to come back. I cannot let you in. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't plan to come back, honestly. How do I say this right now? So I asked Carmen, like, hey, they are telling me this. Can you like book me a flight or something? And she booked the flight, and I was like, okay, well, we'll figure it out. We will cancel it or something. And later I came here. We achieved physical union and we got married. And we were figuring out how to cancel the flight and get the money back because it was like a good amount of money. And we were like, wow, this is so bad, like they wouldn't allow me to come back, to come here without a ticket. And after some research, we realized that around 10 minutes later, after we bought the ticket, that flight was canceled. No one knew everything. And the people, when I arrived here to Germany, I showed it to the immigrant officer, and he was like, okay, come in. And everyone, we were showing, we didn't even have like a number. It was a screenshot that Carmen shared with me that we bought the flight. It was like just, we could have done that on Paint, on some, like, it had nothing on it. And people were like, okay, okay, okay. And then we realized like, well, once you overcome this challenge, once you say yes to it, once you embrace it, God shows you that there was actually like nothing that could stop you. It was only your fear about it, maybe. So whenever you find a challenge in your union, say yes to that and see what's on the other side for you, because it's gonna be much more than what you can expect or wish.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Plus, a challenge doesn't have to be hard. Like a challenge is challenging, but it doesn't have to bleed you out. And the harder a challenge is, the better the result. Like, nah, not really. Like something I also came to realize is, like, yeah, you will always face challenges, but they bring you definitely what you desire on the other side. And you've kind of earned that, right? And it's okay to acknowledge that a challenge is really challenging, but like not giving into that it's like hard or too hard for you, or maybe make yourself a little suffer more. That's something I did, so the outcome is better, right? You can enjoy it more when you really like bled through it and have like so many challenging feelings to overcome. Like none of this matters. Like in the end, it really comes down to also going to God for this, right? He didn't let you here so you can, move through that on your own. Like you also have God on your support here, God on your side, and always ask Him for support to help you through it, and not to ask for like, let this challenge be over, please, and take it away from me, because that's not honoring what God is giving you in that moment, but He's helping you through it too. And that's a big thing. And also a nice thing I realized with being with Daniel is like every time you overcome a challenge on your own, like you are loving yourself in that moment and you are supporting yourself, and you will receive that support with your twin flame as well later. Like challenges now come faster, but you overcome them faster too, like together. It's not just you singly having to work through a bigger load of things. You actually move through them together, and it's fun, it's easy. And you know what took me like this challenge, what we moved through and still moving through, would have taken me days, weeks to feel finally peaceful about it a little bit. But now it's like, well, we sit down maybe 1 day, maybe 2 days, really grind through the feelings, and then it's like, oh, they can't touch us, right? Nothing can touch us here. Like, this is our union, we keep it sacred, and yeah, we don't care what happens on the outside. Of course, we claim the best possible outcome, but we also claim to receive what is in our highest interest. And yeah, I think that's like the best thing you can do, and always call in support, right? We are not here in this journey to overcome this alone. Like work with an Ascension coach, you won't do it without a coach.
You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, right. It's much easier, and we have this community to support TFAS, LPC, Twin Flame Ascension School, Life Purpose class, and it's super valuable. Like, people have walked the path in front of you, and you know, you can just claim that support from those who've made it and who are walking the path and know what it's about. You wanted to say something? You were like, okay.
But now I know.
Okay.
I don't.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, guys, for that. That was beautiful. Yeah, I really I'm just taking it all in, and what I'm really getting from all of it is that it's worth it, right? It's incredible, and it's a synergy, right? You with your twin flame, it's more than just 1 + 1, right? It's infinitely better, because you amplify each other. Beautiful discussion. I feel pretty complete here, if you guys feel complete. Awesome. Well then, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much also for watching on Facebook, on YouTube. And if you want to watch all of our previous after church tea times, you can do so on our Church of Union YouTube channel. Also check out unionism.org, for latest news, and you can also tithe and donate on that page as well to support our message. Well then, have a beautiful week ahead, and see you soon. Bye bye.